This excerpt from the public television program, The Piano Guy, is brought to you by NAMM, the International Music Products Association.
Well, this tune is kind of a fun one, and I hope that maybe just started to ring a bell a little bit, especially if you have any children or if you've seen a movie, The Toy Story. This is a theme from The Toy Story. It's called You've Got a Friend in Me, and it was written by a great writer named Randy Newman, who's done a lot of movie themes and a lot of other funny tunes, and it's really very typical of his writing and has this real kind of this, it's almost an older style feel of the that type of thing. So before we get into all that, it's kind of important, I think, to really learn the tune, get the melody line figure out what all those chords are that they're doing all that complicated rhythmic stuff with. And so what we're going to do in this basic segment is just work through the melody line, and we're going to really go through all those chords individually to figure out what those are made of. Because once you've done that, you'll then have the knowledge you need to be able to split those chords apart and do some of the stuff I was just talking about, the way you do it when you're accompanying yourself. So let's dig right into the melody. And again, this may be a familiar one to you. It starts out like this. It goes, all right, you've got a friend in me. Here we go. Ba-do, do. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Little piano riff here. Then it goes back to that same section. All right, so we'll go ahead and assume we've taken the second ending there. So after this, and yeah, you got a friend in me. Now here comes the bridge. Back to the head. Do 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 do. Doom doom. And a big dramatic hold there when you hear the chords with it. Yeah, ba do do do. Ba do da do. Now that thing at the end really was just a piano lick, this part. So that's kind of a little piano solo they do, so even if you're singing along with it, that's a line that eventually you'll want to get underhand. It's kind of a little signature lick in this tune. Okay, now let's try to put this melody line in a little bit more context by hearing the chords along with it. Now this tune, we're playing it in E flat, which is the tune, or the original key of the song. So it sounds like this. First chord's in E flat. Okay, second chord is a B flat augmented. That's kind of a weird one, and I'll explain it in a second. Okay, so we're going to work right through the tune, and it's exactly the way you would do it. I just want to, kind of use me as an example of how I would approach it if I were you at home trying to do this. Get the lead sheet in front of you, just start digging through the chords. Now a lot of these chords you will have already known from previous tunes if you've ever played in this style. If you've never in your life played in this style, then here's how you do it. You need to go out and get a chord chart or a chord booklet or something that, some sort of a chord dictionary that has a listing of all of these chords, and then when you go look them up, you'll find a little diagram that has a little picture of a keyboard with dots on which notes you're supposed to play. And although that sounds pretty elementary to say that, it's really kind of a deep, meaningful way to learn chords in this style, because you never get chords notated in the music in a lead sheet. All you get is a chord symbol, similar to what guitar players play from. So the objective becomes, when you see E flat, you don't really care what it looks like notated, but alternatively, you need to know what notes to play. And that's exactly what the chord diagrams will tell you. So most of these chords you'll find out, from your chord diagrams and look them up. There's a couple I just want to, in case you don't have them in there, that are kind of far out chords I want to just mention to you. And one of them is this very second one. The tune goes, it's an E flat, and the second one is called a B flat augmented. And what it is, a normal B flat chord would be B flat, D, and F. And to augment a chord, you take the top note, the fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go up a half step. So it sounds like that. So, and then the third is an E flat 9. But here's why he does this. This is why Randy Newman wrote this. You want to hear this. Here's the E flat. Then in the B flat, you want to hear this. So this is what you want to hear. And by playing those chords, that's why they're kind of far out that way. And he uses the ninth. You want to hear this. So please take a look at what I'm playing there, and however you play this with your left hand, it'll be simpler when you start using both hands down here. But you want to play, how I would probably do it is play that first E flat inverted. So go. So we have, that's what you need to hear to play this tune correctly. All right, then we move on. And really the rest of it's pretty straightforward. I'm trying to find any other huge roadblocks you may find. There are some slash chords. The way you handle a slash chord is whatever the note is to the right of the slash, that has to be the lowest note you hear. If that ever gives you huge problems, you can kind of ignore the slash, but yeah, at some point you want to look those up, but don't let that keep you from ever playing the tune, all right? So let me try to just work through a few measures of this for you. And I'll just take it very slowly and just work. I'll do my best to just play the chords in root position and no sneaky, fingerings or no sneaky voicings or anything. I'll try to just get through a few measures here to give you a handle of what the real chord structure sounds like with the melody. All right, here's the A flat. Okay, now check this out. This measure has 4 right in a row, and so you'll need to practice this for a while. It goes. Boy, that's vintage Randy Newman. However you're going to sing that. There's that. And then it goes back to the head. Let me just do the bridge for you so you can hear that with the chord changes very quickly. That sounds like this. Then back to. And on and on and on. So I won't bore you with the rest of it. But that's really, I think, the best way to tackle a tune like this that has a lot of chords coming down the pike is to learn those chords, really get it in your head what it sounds like, the harmony of the tune along with the melody. And then after you've done that, you can start moving forward, which is what you can do if you listen to the recording and imitating things and making it sound more like what it sounds like on the recording, which is like this. That type of thing. So. But you have to learn to walk before you can learn to run. So this way we got through this is my suggestion for getting through a tune like You've Got a Friend in Me. Just remember, don't make this work. If it ever gets stressful, give it up. The whole reason we're doing this is to have some fun. So please sit down, have fun with a tune like You've Got a Friend in Me, and enjoy your piano.
This excerpt from the public television program, The Piano Guy, has been brought to you by NAMM, who reminds you that playing a musical instrument is a fun way to improve your mind, body, and spirit. And it's never too early or too late to start. Want to play?